Hello everyone, super pumped to be here on the next episode for the Glovo Tech Podcast. Today we're taking a bit more high grounds on the tech organizations. I'll be flying with Ben, my new guest, on my new coach actually. Ben, welcome. Can you introduce yourself to the audience? Don't tell me you're a CTO at DH, we already know.
Okay.
Give me
That's
something
good.
spicy.
Something spicy. So, what can I tell you spicy that I haven't told anyone else before? I'm the CTO of Delivery Hero, but fun spicy fact, I swore myself I will never be a manager ever in my career. And now I'm leading a tech org of 4,500 people. So that tells you a lot about how much you can trust my promises to myself.
Very nice. I love it. I will try to get inspired on this move. So Ben, you have been at DH for quite a long time now, on the roles 2.5 years, if I remember very well, your LinkedIn page.
Yes.
How your roles evolved as a CTO, and what was the surprise when you have to scale a tech organizations?
So the role as a CTO hasn't actually evolved so much, right? So my role right now is very similar to the role that I had in Foodpanda, and it's very similar to the role that I had in Traveloka also before and in other companies. So the role doesn't change so much. What makes it fun or more fun here is simply the scale and operational setup that we have in Delivery Hero. Like, you know that my job is basically to ensure all of our platform CTOs and all of our global service engineering leads walk into one direction. So you can say, like, my job is to herd cats a little bit, because as we know, all of our engineers and engineering leaders are highly opinionated about everything. It's my job to make them move into the right direction. What I found most surprising, quite frankly, when I joined Delivery Hero and they explained me the setup with like brands and entities and global services, that sounds a bit like chaos and a mess, and that I can sense how that can become a very political thing in an organization. What I found very surprising, that we are not at all a very political organization. There is, as engineering leaders across the world, we get together and we try to identify what's the right thing, what's the thing that we believe on and that we want to double down on. And most of the time we agree, and then we just do and move towards that. And that, I thought when I joined the company, this will require more arm twisting occasionally, but it's very consensus and very collaborative, and I'm very happy about that. And I think when it comes to scaling this, I think the most surprising thing is, if you have engineering teams all over the world, you would expect them to be very different, but they are much more similar than they are different, right? So if you talk to an engineering team in Buenos Aires and here in Barcelona and Berlin and Seoul and Singapore and Athens and Dubai and Riyadh and where we all have them, you find there's much more that they have in common, despite having different setups, different missions and so on, than there are differences. And I think that was interesting to figure out as a CTO. How do you take the best of that you have everywhere and make the whole even perform better together?
All right. And just to rebound on what you said at the beginning in your intro, you say you do not manage people. How do you manage to lead all those CTO around the brand, right, together, without managing them? One tip.
So no, I said in the beginning, 20 years ago, I made the commitment to myself that I will never manage people again, right? And now here I am managing like 4,000 people across the world. But I think what I really enjoy about my role, that I don't actually need to manage so much, because all of our leaders are very proactive, very driven, very committed people. So the annoying part of the management role is luckily very limited. But what I try to do with all of them is to always be very transparent and clear where I think we should go as a group and how I think outstanding would look for us as Delivery Hero and as Delivery Hero in tech, and how every team around the world must and can play a part in getting us there, not just for all of us in Delivery Hero, but also for every team for themselves. And we are making good progress. So when I look back at the 3 years almost that I'm in Delivery Hero, where we are today and where we were 3 years ago, I'm very happy with the progress. There's still lots of rooms to improve and things that we want to achieve, but really getting everyone to buy in, this is the direction and this is how we know we'll get there, is I think 90% of the work that I do.
All right. So transparency with the team play.
Transparency, team play, like in general, I think management is not that hard. If you tell people, this is where we're going, this is the goal, this is why it's important, this is how we think we will know that we are on the right track, that usually does half of the trick. And then the second part of your job is, once you've done this, you just need to move everything away that blocks the teams from going in that direction, right? If you do these two things, hopefully you will get success.
All right. Technology is evolving very fast. Innovation as well. When we put AI on top of it, the factors multiply by tens. As a CTO, how do you choose where to invest without disrupting the short-term goal of the edge and as well the different brands?
I would love to have a very concrete answer to that, because there's of course prioritization frameworks and ROI calculations, but the truth is it's also always a bit betting on a certain state in the future, right? So a big part of strategy work is that you test your assumptions and validate your hypothesis, and then you make educated bets, basically what you think that will happen, and hopefully you make more right bets than wrong bets. But fundamentally, I believe a trade-off between short-term goals and innovations is already deadly, right? So then that's a trade-off that I try to avoid, right? I try to look at things, how can a new technology or how can an emerging theme that happens, how can we benefit from it in the long and short term simultaneously almost. And then just simply take a look of all the things that you could do and remove everything from that list where I say, maybe nice, but I'm not all in on it, right? And then really narrow it down to 2-3 topics where I say, on these we go all in and do our best to reach our goals there and to create results and create impact. And I think if you limit the amount of things that you try to experiment on this big place, right? Small experiments, you should do a lot across the group. But on these big strategic, big bet, almost moonshots, try to have only 1 or 2 or 3 at max. 3 is already pushing it, I think, a bit. And then, but really be committed on them and stay also with a team if the results are not there immediately, and try to change your approach, but really stay committed to that topic and don't give up on it too early if the results don't come. Then you will get short-term benefit and long-term benefit at the same time, most of the time.
All right.
And accept that occasionally you will mess something up along the way, right? So these bets come with the risk that they will just not pay off, and make it clear to everyone that it's all right? So sometimes it's just fine. We did our best. We tried to land a big hit somewhere and we didn't. Take the lessons learned and then move on to the next one.
Move on to the next one. And is it easy to, when you choose a new technology, a new innovation to deploy across the group, is it easy to engage your CTOs to go for it, move for it?
Easy is a strange word. So I find it easy. I'm not sure my CTOs will agree always whether it's easy. I think it's as easy as it can be, because we really, as a group of engineering leaders in Delivery Hero, try as much as we can to make these decisions together, and I mostly act as a tiebreaker in case we as a group cannot make a decision, right? Because we have probably 80% of our decisions, really the majority, or if not everyone on the group, agreeing that that is the right direction. Also, then implementing them is much easier, right? I think the challenge then comes a little bit with our distributed scale. It takes a while in some cases, and you have local priorities that kind of conflict with that, and that's a normal part of the game, actually. But I don't think it's, or maybe the other way around, I don't think it's harder here in Delivery Hero with our distributed setup to get innovation and technology rolled out across the group than it was in my previous organizations that were very centralized.
Okay. So in a sense, transparency, trust with the CTO that you have, make it easy to deploy the new innovation or technology here. You said that you use you bet somehow, so calculated bet that you have to take. I guess you are using data to do that.
Most of the time, yeah. No, I'm kidding. Yes, we use a lot
We
of
hope
data.
you do that. We know at DH the platform is complex. We go from mobile, from platform, everything crossing in between. There is a massive amount of data, that is processed, gathered every day. You as a CTO, how do you know the metrics that tell you your service is running well, your engineering team is doing well? What would be your 3 top key metrics that you would follow?
We actually have that quite well defined, and I'll group it into bigger buckets because there's like a ton of sub-metrics and drivers for all of this. But reality, what are we looking at to know that an engineering team is doing well, right? Do they handle reliability and scalability well, right? Do they handle quality both in the backend and in the mobile apps well? Is security done well? Is cost frugal? And there's a difference between frugality and stinginess. So I want engineering teams to be cost efficient, right? Are our engineers having a good time, right? Is DevX good? Is the engineering tooling good? And so on, right? So if you see enough good signals around these big buckets, then you can usually assume the engineering team is doing well, right? And a lot of people always think that doing well equals somehow to velocity, like delivering a lot of things. I believe velocity is a consequence of all of this that we just see. So if you do these 5 buckets well, you will have teams that deliver well and fast and create time and create value fast, right? So that's, we look at that also across the group a bit more standardized. How are all our engineering teams doing across these various sectors? And across many of these parts, we do quite well. And then there's occasional areas where we have a bit of room for improvement, and then we talk about it and course correct.
All right. And do you have like a favorite one that you will look every morning? This is the number at first look.
Order retention and reliability. That's the one that I really look at every morning. Is the first thing, is like, what happened yesterday across the world, right? In the last couple of days, did something break? And if so, why did it break? Is the postmortem ready? We have this weekly ops review that we do every Wednesday. Like, are these discussed in there properly, right? So that's really the number that I think we start with very often, because that's our job. Our job is to produce quality products that turn our users into fans. And for that, the first requirement is the stuff needs to be stable, running, and working properly. So that's really, if I would pick one, that's the one that I look most, both on the backend services, but also on the technical quality of the mobile apps, right?
All right. What will be your journey with AI? Give me the good. Give me the bad. Give me the excitement of it.
Bad is that everyone puts AI on stuff where it really doesn't belong, right? That includes especially vendors and software products that are being sold to you. I see a lot of nonsense coming out into the market there, where just stuff that really doesn't need AI is now an AI first product. And if you look deeper into it, it's just rubbish across the board, right? So that's the bad. There is, like, in every bubble hype, and I don't think AI is just a hype and a bubble, but in every of these big momentum changes, there come a lot of people that will try to tell you if they've solved all your problems by putting an AI sticker on it.
We wish now.
That's the bad, that's the ugly also, and that's the annoying one. I think the exciting part is if you use this technology in the right way, and by that I mean to sharpen your thinking and to sharpen your work, and to speed up your work, but not to outsource your critical thinking capability to it. the benefits of it are quite strong, right? Whether you're a software engineer or a marketer or whatever position that you have, these technologies can make your job and your performance in that job significantly better, right? So that's the exciting part. The challenging part is many people struggle with it, right? It's a new technology that also requires a new way of thinking on how to interact with it. And I see that a lot. People use it in a way that, yes, it gets them kind of results, but it doesn't really harvest the full benefit of it, right? And I encourage people really to spend time with these technologies in whatever field they are, to not to understand the technical details of how they work internally. That's probably an overkill unless you're an engineer, but to understand enough about it, how it works and what it's good at and what it's not good at, that you put the right tools on the right problems, right? Because I see that is, I think, the biggest challenge, that people think AI as a magical mystery thing that will solve all your problems and you don't have to think about it. That's not true, right?
I agree. You usually need to input the problem
you
properly.
need to think about it, and you need to think about in which way this tool can enhance the task that you are trying to do. And that is where I think we as organizations and leaders across the world need to do a better job also in educating people, because it's hard. It's really hard to understand that well, especially if you're not already technology savvy like an engineer.
All right. Do you use it
Every day.
every day?
Every day for 20, 30, 40 times probably a day.
And how do you address the challenge of quantifying that AI is a benefit for the groups, for the brands, for the service we're running? How do you address?
I think personally, I think there's too much focus on benefits in the current state, right? Which introduces again a lot of products that are just bullshit, quite frankly, that will say, oh, we've solved the problem of AI benefits, right? And we will give you a tool that shows cost saved and engineering hours saved due to AI. This is all nonsense. It's all rubbish, right? In the current state, what's really important is that you get adoption, right? That you get people to use it, because at the end of the day, it's a product like everything else, right? If people find it beneficial, they will use it. If people find it not beneficial, they will not use it. And if you try to force someone to use a product they don't like, they will do so with the absolute minimum amount of effort they can get away with, as they should, right? So our job and our mission is to make sure that we look at, are teams using it? What are they using it for? How do they churn away from it? Why are they churning away from it? Did they not understand it? Did they find it too cumbersome? Is the tool not the right one? So try to, like with any new product, try to understand why people like it, what people use it for, and why they stop using it. That is the critical thing, right? Why do people stop using it? Because if you give it to an organization, you will notice adoption just almost immediately goes to 100%, and then people churn off again, right? And trying to find out, okay, why do people churn off is the key to get adoption, keep adoption high. Once you have adoption high, you can then try to identify tasks in there with, okay, you know what, this one really improves my work, right? But I also think that's a bit boardroom executive nonsense. I say I need to quantify this. I think psychologically, if a tool helps humans to do their job better, faster, or more in a more convenient way, they will do so, right? I find it very hard to believe that someone would willfully ignore a tool that makes their life easier. And you will notice this again with time and work being spent on things that previously couldn't be done because it was occupied by other work. So I don't care so much, quite honest, to proving the ROI benefit of AI usage. I'm a believer in humanity, and I believe that if you give people a good tool that gives them an ability to do their job better, they will do so. And if they do so, we will become a better company by it automatically. That I then maybe cannot put a dollar value to that. It's fine. I think we don't need to.
Okay. Cool. Thank you very much, Ben, for sharing all those insights as a CTO of Delivery Hero. For our audience, thank you very much for listening and watching. I'm not sure we have many CTO here, but feel free to share your top and flop of AI in your business, and as well your few KPI that you like to follow for your business unit. Until then, thank you very much. I'll see you on the next podcast, and don't forget to subscribe.